Go get your necessities, your milk, your sugar, your bread, your Thai constellation. Hi, it's Caitlin from Really Big Plant. Thank you so much for joining me. For this video, I just want to show you something amazing. So I live in Southern California, and the grocery store that I normally shop at is a chain called Stater Brothers, and their plants have just been getting better and better. I've made other YouTube videos showing shopping at their stores. I was there shopping for food, like you do at the grocery store, and I went over to the plant section to just take a look, like I do every single time. And the thing I always say if I'm with my husband there, I always say, just gonna go check for elbows real quick. I've been saying that line every single time I go to the grocery store since sometime in 2020. Gonna just go check for elbows. And this time I walked up, and lo and behold, I saw these Thai constellations there, and I just could not believe it. There was a whole tray of them at the store when I was there a couple of days ago, or it looked like there had been a whole tray and there were only 5 or 6 of them left, and they all looked great, to be honest. I did take a little video clip on my phone, so I will show that to you.
Really big player.
And on top of it, they were only $20 a piece. $20 a piece. And that included the little pot that they came in. And they had these little boxes. They introduced these a couple months ago, but when I went through the checkout, the checker was like a young guy, and he saw these plants and he knew I wanted the boxes. So I think they're starting to catch on. Part of me always knew that this was gonna happen. This is why I didn't get a Thai constellation until like earlier this year. I got my other one that I have from Gabriella Plants, and it was $45, which I feel like was a great price. It came in beautiful shape and was around this size actually, maybe a little bit bigger. But I can't believe I found these 2 plants. And it's crazy because now Thai constellations are just gonna be everywhere. Like, can you imagine this world in which when you go shopping for a monstera, you're just gonna casually be deciding between whether you want the plain green or if you want the speckled version. You know what I mean? Like a plant beginner might walk into a plant store and walk out with the Thai constellation like it's no big deal and without breaking the bank. It has finally happened. I mean, literally, I'm dedicating an entire video to this because I have been waiting for this day for years. I kid you not, every single time I walk into the grocery store, I say, gonna just go check for elbows. So I know that these aren't elbows, it's Thai constellation, but I've been meaning variegated monstera. Just a quick rundown in case you're still watching this and don't know what I'm talking about. These are Monstera deliciosas, and these are variegated varieties which are not reproducible by seed. They're only reproducible by vegetative clonal propagation, which can be accomplished by taking cuttings of a plant and growing those, or by doing a process like tissue culture, which is basically just like super sterile propagation. When you do a vegetative propagation like by hand, when you take a cutting, you usually keep an entire node intact, because if you cut through it, you risk killing off the plant or infecting it or just having a lot of things go wrong. When you do tissue culture, you're able to create an environment where you keep the node area so sterile that you can chop it up into multiple pieces and then propagate even more plants from there. So it's not like you like genetically modified it or anything like that. It's just really like a very, very clean propagation technique that allows you to maximize the propagation potential of a plant. So anyway, these Thai constellations have been able to come down to this price because they are in tissue culture in lots and lots of places by lots of individuals at this point, and I think it's just created enough of a supply that the price has been able to come way down. So that is awesome. Can you imagine what's gonna happen when like they're everywhere? It's gonna be amazing. So yeah, they came in these black ceramic outer pots, and then they're in the short type of 4-inch pot. So I am gonna need to repot these soon. I feel like these are actually in amazing condition. This one has it's got this little leaf that was never gonna make it anyway, but let's see, where are these from? So they stocked these from R&D Nurseries from their collection called Tropic Treasures Collection. So yeah, look at this plant. Here's one. The leaves are beautiful. There's like a couple little spots on some of them, but it looks like physical damage to me, just by the way that it's not like covering the plant. There's some spots that honestly look like they could be from like cold damage. Let me show you on the back of this leaf. Like, leaves start to look weird when they start changing temperature, and these were sitting in the floral section, which they keep cold. And then this is the other one that I got. Am I greedy for getting 2? there were a whole bunch of them, so I feel like it's okay. I really wanted 2 of them because I keep saying this, but when I saw these in the grocery store, my first thought instantly was like, oh my gosh, I can just suddenly with great clarity picture a world full of Thai constellations. And then I started feeling a little bit like gluttonous, like I needed to get a second one so that I could enact that in my house and put these around in a couple of places. But yeah, these are beautiful. I'm so excited about it. Look at the variegation on this. Look at, it's so amazing. This one even has a fenestration. I literally got this fenestrated Thai constellation monstera at the grocery store. Are you kidding me? It was only $20, including the pot at the grocery store. I just keep saying it over and over again because it's like, it sounds like a Mad Lib. I want to say thank you to Stater Brothers. I'm going to send them this video. Thank you for having an awesome plant selection. Stater Brothers plant game is on point. I'm going to take a look at the roots. Curious what it's going to look like in here. So let's open this up and see. Wow, really healthy roots. I don't know why I was expecting it to not be that well rooted, but look at how healthy these roots are. It's amazing. And they even have this in like a nice chunky potting mix. Honestly, I feel like this is great. These roots are amazing, healthy, chunky. It's looking so good. I'm gonna need to repot this real soon. Got a big plant chores video coming up. Let's look at the roots in this one too. Wow. Okay, yeah, these are really due for a repotting. Should I do that right now? Let's do that. Let's repot these. Okay, surprise repotting that I wasn't planning on doing. I already said goodbye. So we're gonna repot one of these. I originally was gonna do this one, but this one has more roots, so we're gonna do the one with more roots in it. That makes sense to me. I've got this pot here. It's not my first choice pot, but I told myself recently that I need to use the pots I have before I keep buying new pots, so I need to just make it work or repot some of my plants so I can shuffle things around. This is one that's been sitting in the back of my cabinet for a while. I kind of don't like the pots with the saucer attached because they clog up with dirt and there's not a lot of room for spillage. So anyway, I'm gonna use this one. Stickers out really easily, which is awesome. Normally you want to use a pretty chunky potting mix. It starts to get more important the bigger a plant pot you start to have. Like the higher volume of soil you have in the pot, the more you need to pay attention to the size of your particles in your soil mix. You're going to want to put in things like wood chips, big perlite, hydroponic potting medium like leca. Those types of things are good because once you start having a lot of soil, like a big pot, just because of the physical nature of having a greater volume of soil, you get more compacting because you have more weight weighing down on itself. So in the smaller pots, like under 6 inches, I feel like a lot of times, sometimes even up to like the 10-inch pots, you can use a little bit of a finer potting medium like the coco coir or the peat moss type of potting medium, and it's not really that problematic until you start getting into much bigger pots. This is a little bit of expanded coco coir that I have mixed in with perlite. I mixed this up to repot some snake plants not too long ago. Probably 2 parts perlite to 3 parts coco coir. Somewhere over the rainbow I have mesh screens. I've got these little mesh screens that I ordered on Amazon. They have kind of a bigger netting hole. I just wasn't paying attention when I ordered them. I should have looked at the specifications. Someone suggested I just stack them to make the holes essentially smaller, and that's a great idea. Just cutting it in half. Put it like this and stick it into the pot. Just make sure that hole is covered. I don't normally do this step, but this type of pot clogs up pretty easily just because the tray is attached to the bottom. So I'm trying to prevent it from clogging too badly. And so then I have this moss pole. This is my last one. I'm gonna need to order a new pack of these. I keep buying these same ones because they have a plastic core, which I like because then they don't rot. So it's just got this little piece you stick in and then the little brown cap to cover up where this pole came out. And yeah, I just really like these. I get these on Amazon. I'll put the link to it in my video if they still exist. I haven't bought these in a while. They usually come in like a 4 or 6 pack. Do you guys like to put the moss pole in the center or off to the side? All right, and then I already took this out of here. This potting medium doesn't even look compacted. It actually looks kind of nice and chunky. So I'm kind of just gonna keep it in here. I'm gonna break up the root ball a little bit, but I'm gonna let the potting medium go into the pot that I'm using, that I already put some soil in. The goal is basically to just loosen up the root ball a little bit. So if you have roots that are wrapped around in a circle, you can just readjust them so that they're not gonna keep growing around and around in a spiral, because sometimes that can lead to problems with the plant where it starts to like choke itself underground. So it's helpful to just distribute the roots a little bit. And then I'm gonna just put it in here. Oh, I just realized I never washed this plant. I'm gonna just rinse it real quick once. Gonna put this in here. Woo! Ah! Okay, calm down. I'm getting too excited. I've gotten so many plants from Stater Brothers now. Among the rare ones, I've gotten these 2 Thai constellations, and then I got those 3 philodendrons that I showed in a different video once, the philodendron white knight, the philodendron white princess, and the philodendron white wizard. And so those were amazing finds. I think they were also $20. So now that's a total of 5 plants. I spent $100 on rare plants at Stater Brothers, and totally worth it. Funny thing about Stater Brothers, when I first moved here, I noticed that their plant selection was like pretty good, pretty cheap. They had more houseplants than I would expect to find at a grocery store, but there was like nothing that crazy. But I felt like the prices were really, really great. So I did a lot of grocery store plant shopping. And I started doing this thing where every single time I would go through the checkout, I would tell the checkers that they've got a great plant selection. And in the beginning, they sort of, no one really cared. They were like, yeah, okay, we've got plants. And after a couple of months of doing that, they started replying to me with things like, yeah, you know, we've heard that people always say that our plants are good. And low-key, you guys, I think that it's actually mainly just me. I also shop at an Albertsons nearby, and they, like over a year ago, really hiked up their plant prices. They're charging like, I think $99 for a Monstera basket. And it's kind of crazy. Like, they've got some rare plants in there every now and then, but they charge a lot. But Stater Brothers is doing great and is charging really reasonable prices for their plants, and I hope they continue to do so. So yeah, I would love to hear from you on what you found at the grocery store recently. Any suggestions on grocery stores that you want to recommend your fellow plant shoppers in your area, what some of your surprising finds have been, or what the best price is on a Thai constellation that you found in your area, because I feel like the time of expensive Thais is now officially over. Thai constellations are here for everyone. Hopefully coming to you soon. Yeah, I would love to hear from you on what you think of all this. A couple years ago, back in like, maybe, was it 2022, 2021, I almost paid, I kid you not, I almost paid $2,000 for a Thai constellation. One of the stores I was working at got one in like a huge pot. It must have been like a 16-inch pot, and it had leaves that were 2 or 3 feet across. It was like truly a large form, and it was beautiful, and it sat in the window and did not sell for a really long time in the plant shop. I considered buying it pretty much every day, and I really almost did it. I almost bought it because I lived close enough to the plant shop I had worked at there to just walk it home with my little wagon, but I didn't buy it. And now I'm really glad that I didn't, because I found these for $20 a piece. They're nowhere near the size of the huge one that I was gonna buy that one time, but still, I feel like these are just awesome. I can't believe these are from Stater Brothers, where I buy my like milk and bread and stuff, you know? Just go get your necessities, your milk, your sugar, your bread, your Thai constellations, anything you need. So, woohoo! Okay. I'm so excited about this. Look at this, it's beautiful in here now. Right after repotting a plant is a really important time to give it water, with some special exceptions. But for most plants, like regular plants just have regular roots. When you size them up into a new pot, if your new potting medium is dry, it's really important to give it water right away after you repot it, so that those roots, which are already kind of disturbed, it helps them settle into their new home a lot faster if they get some water. Because the thing that roots are always was looking for is water. So we're gonna do a project with this other Thai constellation, and I'm hoping it's gonna be really cool. All right, I'm so excited to have this in here now. It looks great, hooray. Oh, I'm glad I persevered with this because I was gonna not repot this, but I know that this plant is gonna be happier now. Fantastic. So I think I might have put in a little bit too much water. I'm gonna drain it again. This has been an awesome video to make. I'm so excited to have gotten to tell you this little story about finding these plants at my grocery store. So I hope that some really affordable Thai constellations are coming to you soon. I would love to hear from you on what cool plants you have found locally, or what the cheapest Thai constellation is that you found, or if you've seen any kind of variegated monsteras around you for really overpriced or for reasonable priced. And if you're a person who bought a really expensive Thai constellation back in the day, I also just want to say thank you for hyping up this plant to the point that now they're just available. It's everyone's hype and interest in this plant that was able to bring it to market actually relatively quickly for $20. Like the fact that I was thinking about paying $2,000 for one of these only a couple of years ago, and now it's only 20 bucks, is pretty cool in my opinion. I literally have been envisioning this moment for years. It's been literally over 4 years, I think, since I've been saying, I wonder if there's any albos at the grocery store every time I go grocery shopping, hoping that I was gonna find this exact situation. So I'm so thrilled. Woohoo! I hope this video was fun for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are having a fantastic planty week and that your plants are bringing you joy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye! I love grocery store plants. I love being able to find cool plants at the grocery store. It used to be hard to find plants.